We're going to be looking at VFW's Don't Feed the Sharks video. It just came out a month ago. It is funny. You know, it's kind of like dry humor type Seinfeld funny. I want to watch this and talk about this real quick. It's a minute long.
And now a special message from the VFW Washington office. You know, the thing about these claim sharks companies, they're doing all kinds of crazy things that are like illegal. They're using people's social security numbers. They're logging onto the VA website with their credentials. They're even charging up to $20,000. They're taking advantage of veterans, and they're taking advantage of surviving dependents.
Pat, how long is this supposed to take?
Couple minutes, Joe.
Outstanding. Continue.
Well, as I was saying, there's a whole bunch of these companies like Trajector and VA Claims Insider and Patriot Angel, and there's Veterans Guardian, Veteran Benefit Guide, VetCom, Telemedica, Veterans Care Services, VA Claims Academy, Vet Assist, Veterans Disability Help, Just for Veterans. That's about it.
All right, there we go. It's very dry humor type. I will say the gentleman on the left side that was making copies who had the prosthetic leg at the end there, that is Patrick Murray. He's the VFW's national legislative director, and he is one of the leading figureheads when it comes to anti-claim sharks. Obviously, the VFW is very heavy on the claim shark side of the house. But speaking of claim sharks, I'm gonna kick this to you first because I definitely have thoughts on this. I'm sure everyone knows that. I want to get your thoughts on just VA disability claims consulting companies. Should veterans use them? What is the answer around there? I don't think it's a simple yes or no. I want to hear your thoughts, and I'm definitely going to give mine at the end there.
Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of a different angle on this.
Mm-hmm.
And my true thoughts, Clay, the VFW, the DAV, the American Legion, and all the other veteran service organizations should have been pressing Congress a decade ago for more money into the veteran service organizations' ability to actually serve veterans. This includes the county veteran service offices, the states, at the state level, pushing federal funds into the states to actually create an atmosphere where veteran service officers, accredited vet reps, and so forth could actually increase their head count to serve veterans in a proactive way. I truly believe that these claim sharks have bubbled up out of as a byproduct of short funding to the free resources, right? So if you have free resources that are not funded appropriately, that have long wait times, aren't accepting new clients, don't even have a presence around where you're located, what is a veteran to do? Not every veteran is capable of navigating. Sure, watch 1,000 videos on YouTube and you too can file a claim yourself, right? Not everybody. Look, everybody has a different threshold for things, different bandwidths, different frustration levels. Not everybody is the same. Some people need a helping hand through the process, period. So there needs to be the resources available, plentiful for veterans to access this type of service. So I believe that the claim sharks are a byproduct of not funding the appropriate resources. And now we're pissed off that claim sharks popped up. Stupid. You, the veteran service organizations, need to lobby for more money into the states to actually help veterans. That's my situation with this. The other thing I'm going to throw in there, Clay, and then I'll kick it over to you, is by no means am I pro claim shark. That sounds stupid. Okay. But the reality is that an organization like that, a for-profit company, is going to be incentivized to help you get everything that you could possibly get. Do I think they overcharge? Absolutely. Would I ever suggest somebody to pay that amount of money to file a claim? No. My first course of action is always, always, always try to find an accredited rep to help you either in your local area, go online, find somebody who can help you free of charge, or try to file the claim yourself and just get as much information as you can, ask questions. Other veterans can help, forums like Reddit, all of our YouTube videos and so forth, either us, like Clay, myself, answering your question. We get a lot of comments. It's hard to answer everybody, but either we answer you or other veterans will answer. Our brothers and sisters will help answer things. So that's kind of my answer on it. I think that it's a failure from 10 years ago is what I think that this is that we're dealing with today.
Oh yeah, I'm going to pull the thread on these companies being a symptom of a much larger problem. And to understand that, you have to go back. I want to say 2006 is when Congress essentially removed the ability for the VA to prosecute those who charge for disability claims. That's paraphrasing. I'm sure there's a better way to say that. But Congress made it legal for them to operate. That legal is one's interpretation of, okay, I don't want to go down that road. That happened in 2006. Okay, well, you think about what was happening. Well, 2001, hello, 9/11. Afghan happened. 2003, Iraq happened. You had Fallujah Part 2. You had Ramadi, Nasiriyah. Then you had the drawdown of Iraq, which people still died. So drawdown my ass, Obviously, I have some personal feelings about that. Then you have Afghan in 2009, 2010 happen with Helmand Province. Huge surge for all services, specifically the Marine Corps. Then you had the drawdown my ass in 2012, where Marines were still dying. I'm saying Marines, but it's all service members. Then you had Sangin in 13 and 14. Fast forward to 15, 16, 17. You had Syria going absolutely buck wild that no one talks about. And then in 21, you had the actual drawdown of Afghan while 12 service members died. The reason why I brought all that up, that's 20 years. 20 years of people dying. When I say people, I mean 18 to 21-year-old kids, okay? The reason I'm saying it like that is because it's a big freaking deal that for 20 years this is going on, and it gets back to exactly what you just said. It's a funding issue. We have this huge surge of 20 years of service members. That's not even including your generation. That's not including Vietnam era, okay? That's just the last 20 years. This huge surge of veterans applying for VA disability. The VA was not postured in any way whatsoever 2 years ago. 2 years ago to handle that amount, much, much less in 2005 and 2010 and 15, okay? You had VSOs, extremely lack of funding and training to handle that amount. And then, of course, you had the PACT Act on top of it. The PACT Act is great. I don't want to diss the PACT Act, but the PACT Act exacerbated that problem. Okay, there's much more than that, but that's the core issues here. And then in about, I want to say 2016, 2017 is when VA Claims Insider, Veterans Benefits Guide really emerged, maybe as early as 2015, to kind of fill that role. Okay, that was objectively a mistake of the American government, the U.S. government. That is, and I will die on that hill. Although I am anti-claim shark, these companies did the right thing in that moment. I would agree with that. Do they charge too much? Absolutely. Do they do predatory practices? Absolutely. Do they target those with BDD claims and only submit increases? Absolutely. I'm not a fan of that. But that's the issue at hand. That is why people are mad, and that's why people support these claims consulting companies, which I can almost agree with them. And I can spend the next hour talking about this, Jason. I won't. I'm going to leave it with this. There's the PLUS Act and there's the GUARD Act right now. They're not going to see any movement this year with the election year. You can just get over that. We're probably not going to see movement. I don't want to go conspiracy. If Trump is in office, which is wild to say right now because he just got 34 felonies, that's neither here or there. We're not even going to talk about that. He's very close with Peter O'Rourke, which is a former VA who also is the president of NAVR, which one is the leading figures for the Plus Act. And so if Trump's in office, I think we will see movement on Plus Act. If not, I think we won't. That's the real story of it. But what I would like to see personally are claims consulting companies not go away, because you cannot take away that option, because it gets back to what I just talked about underfunding, understaffed, under everything. But I think they need to be regulated under a hybrid version of Plus and Guard, where essentially they charge and only appeals. So basically a claims agent, right? Without the actual accreditation. I think anyone should be able to act on behalf of a veteran, given a contract signed by the veteran with regulated charges. It pretty much copy pasting what a claims agent can do into your average everyday person who wants to help a veteran. That I can support. And I would support that. Okay. I would absolutely support that. But that's not a thing. So right now I'm all for the Guard Act. That's what I want to leave it at that, Jason, unless you have any last thoughts on that, because if anyone knows me and the CivDiv, that's just tip of the iceberg. Okay. But do you have any last thoughts on, oh, well, actually here, I'll pose a question to you. Do you think the hybrid version of what I just suggested of the Plus Act, of companies acting as agents, do you think that would work? Do you think it's better? What are your thoughts on that?
I think a paid version for those that want to do it, that's not an out-of-pocket paid upfront fee, right? That it's only if they win, kind of like if you go to an attorney for an automobile accident, right? You don't have to go to an attorney, but if you want to, you can. And it's not money that you're giving them up front. It's out of the award that's won. Sure. Do I think there needs to be a cap? Absolutely. I think that, $20,000 is exorbitant. I think that there needs to be some sort of a something in place there to really limit the amount of money that can be earned. But it still needs to be enough to where it makes sense for these companies to operate, right? You're paying salaries, all that type of stuff. You're paying overhead. If you have a brick and mortar building, right? There's costs involved in running any business. So there has to be some income. Now, another workaround would be, imagine if they made them nonprofits. So you have to be a nonprofit, right? You can pay for your staff and you can pay for yourself as the CEO of your company or whatever. Now you've made yourself be a nonprofit. So that could be a way to help make that happen. But yeah, I'm for it, because the reason why, twofold. One, I think that there should be that, because the incentivized version, I think, makes sense to have somebody there. There's veterans out there that are like, I have no clue. I need as much help as I can get. I need somebody to spend time with me. I need time. I need you to sit and go over my file with me. I'll get more and more stuff and go with you back and forth and whatever to figure out what I can file for. There's others that don't need that. And so they won't use that option. So I think that having that incentivized version is good, but I would say that in conjunction with that, Congress needs to recognize where the real issue is. And again, I'm going back to the lack of funding to free services.
Agreed.
I'm not just going to say it's just Congress, because the states need to step up their investment into veteran service organizations, veteran service officers. So not that they have to give money to the VFW and American Legion. The states need to give money to the counties for veteran services. So your veteran service officer, your accredited reps at the county levels for those states that have those. Every state has a Veterans Affairs for their state. Yeah, see, even Stan agrees. So every state has this. There needs to be a bigger investment. And here's the thing. Every state loves veterans to be in their state because we're bringing in billions of dollars, okay? The top 3 states, just to give everybody some perspective here, when you look at California, Texas, and Florida, the big three states as far as veteran population is concerned, they collectively bring in service-connected compensation alone. So just your bad back, your bad knee, your migraines, your sleep apnea, whatever. Your service-connected disability, not retirement, nothing else, no education benefits, nothing else, just service-connected compensation. Those three states bring in $30 billion a year into those three states. It's almost equal. It's like almost 10 billion in California, about 9 or 10 billion in Florida, and then like 11 or 12 billion in Texas. So they are getting that money into the residents of the state, veterans who spend it in the state. It gets taxed somewhere. It's supporting small businesses. Veterans are bringing in jobs, federal jobs, that type of stuff. The states need to do a better job in conjunction with the federal government helping them out. What they need to do is the federal government needs to incentivize the state to do it by saying, hey, look, state, for every $10 million that you invest in veteran services for your state, every 10 million will kick in another 10 million, right? And that's how you can jump that number up. An office of 10 people is a couple $1 million a year, and you can get some more folks in each of the states to help. That's my thoughts on it. I think that's the big problem.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, and I'm not even going to say anything because I will. This will be a 2-hour long conversation.